Here we are, we're pretty far along with our drawing now, with our drawing of our house. This is one more instructional video, this video number 5, and then I'm going to just show you some samples from some students in video number 6. So at a certain point, like I told you on the last project, you're going to pursue this drawing on your own, make your own choices, do things you want to do. So this video is getting you to that point. I wanted to show you first how to make a garage. Most of you will make this detail. If you're not going to make this detail, then you better make something better. Or let's say we all make a garage, but you can stylize yours a little bit better. So the garage is going to be to the right side of the house. It's not going to be as tall as the house, but it's going to be the same depth as the house. So what we're going to do is take these two bottom corners of the house and we're going to explode them out from the house, just like we exploded the porch out from the front. So here we go. If you want to make a walkway between your house and your garage, then you just leave a little space and do the same thing. So I'm just going to take the two corner lines here on the side of the house and I'm going to pull them towards me, exploding them towards me. So this is the base of the garage. These two lines go to the left vanishing point. Okay, we're not on the roof anymore, so everything in this drawing is either vertical or it's going to one of the two vanishing points. Mrs. Rouse, how'd you get that line? Well, it's going to this vanishing point or it's going to that vanishing point or it's vertical. I guess the exception would be we tilted the roof of the porch too. Okay. So with our garage, let's decide how big we want to make it. I'm going to make it kind of a one-car garage. So I think it, because it's closer to us than the house is, it's going to look pretty big right here as a one-car garage. How tall is it? Typically, a garage is not necessarily extremely tall. Since my two-story house is put here on a basement, maybe my garage is not even quite that tall. But because there's a fun detail I can show you, I think I will make it that tall. Or let's see how it goes. I'm going to make it shorter, this drawing. I've done different things with it. If you want it as tall or if you want to put something out here on top of the garage, you probably want it up here at the horizon line. I'm going to make mine not as tall as the house. To me, that's more realistic. Okay, so you're just going to decide, creative decision, how big you want your garage to be. I'm pulling my garage out to be here. So a bigger garage would be a line that's, further out on here. So this is my corner of my garage. Decided I wanted about this tall next to the house. This is just a vertical line. So I'm going to take a line from my left side vanishing point to that point I found the house. This is about how big I wanted my garage. Left side vanishing point to this point here. I'm gonna clean up that line. There's an extra little piece. So let's remember, we need to kind of keep this drawing cleaned up as we're working on it. Then I'm gonna take my garage. So this is like the front side of the garage. Now I'm gonna turn my garage, go around the corner over here towards the right vanishing point from this corner right here. In a sense, we're making a box attached to the house. Until I hit this other line, because I wanted it to be as deep as the house is. Now I can get rid of this little line right here. And then I'm going to put in the vertical line right here on the back side, right. I've already made a corner there, so this gives me another vertical line. And then I'm going to just kind of square off the box. If I pulled it out and stuck with what I decided right here, it's going to end up all being quite square. So let's see how it does. So this corner will now go towards the vanishing point. Wherever it crosses that line, that's the back corner. Just kind of making it into a box based on the information where I decided how far out this line is and I decided how far down this is. It's kind of fun to work with if you put it at the horizon line I just thought it'd be interesting to see the top of this. I've made the garage a few times before. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now I have another corner. This corner goes back towards the house. So it's going to the vanishing point on the left side. And this time I'm imploding. I'm bringing a line back in towards the same width of the house. Then this line's going to go until it touches the house right there. And if I've drawn everything super well, that means that these two lines will line up, those two corners will line up on the way to the vanishing point. Let's see how well I did this drawing. Pretty well, it looks like. Okay. So there's my garage. This is how I planned my garage to look. Now, sometimes it's kind of fun to draw your garage as if it's open, especially since we already have this detail in here. So for now, let's just remove this line here, and then any lines you have out here, remove those, and then I'll move this line here on the top, and I don't want these, you still have diagonals down in this area, you probably don't want them. So right now we have a box that we're looking into. First thing is, it's up to you how to do this. I think what I'd like to do in this case is just to switch things up. I think I'm going to put another peaked roof on this garage, but not as tall as the other one. This is optional, what you do on top of the garage. Sometimes I put little balconies up there. Sometimes I just have it be flat. This time I'm going to add another peaked roof. So I cross the diagonals, found them, then I'm repeating the whole thing. I'm going to put a very vertical line up from here, but I don't want it, I want this window here to look out on the top of the garage. So the garage isn't going to peak quite as high as the house does. Also, I know where this line is right. I already had a line here from the middle. So I know where to end this garage. The line on the garage is going to end on this line somewhere. So I'm going to pull this back towards the left side vanishing point again. Just trying to find a nice looking top for my garage. Yeah, like that, right about there. That looks great. Okay, Mrs. Rouse, whatever. Anyway, I just thought this time around it'd be nice to put a top on my garage. So I'm going to put a gabled roof on my garage that has, remember I told you it would have a different angle than the gabled roof on my house. So my house has this angle, this gabled roof for the garage will go up to here. Here's my third point for the garage. So if I wanted to put details on the roof of my garage, I would draw them down from this point. So it has a different point than the third point that was for the roof. Remember I told you there'd be a, depending on the location, different angles in your drawing would have different vanishing points. So I could continue that across for that. Another, I think I'll leave this blank. That would be a nice normal thing to do. I could draw a basketball hoop over here if I wanted. Let's say, having fun. This would be pretty high up, let's say. But they're after 9 or 10 feet or what. But putting it in a cube, drawing a really that's the net. And there's a little basketball thing hanging inside the garage. Anyway, so I thought it'd be fun to show the garage door as if it's open. So I'm going to put the same kind of garage door. You could shut it and then you just have to erase all this stuff. But since we have kind of some details in there, why not show it's open? Anytime you need to stop this video, we've gone far enough in perspective. Most of the details I'm doing today, to some extent you've already done them. We're just kind of now on using our imagination to do things to our drawing that we kind of already know what to do. So I'm using the same idea as you did as a doorway to the doghouse to put a garage door here, because the garage isn't, you know, it has a wide door. It doesn't just have a full, it's not fully open. So I'm going to take a line up, just create a decision on that line. I'm going to take it to one diagonal, and then take it over to the other diagonal, just like we did before, and then back down again. It's kind of a nice looking garage. So I'm hoping you're building a garage or some kind of other thing here on your drawing. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but if you're having a hard time knowing what to do, you certainly could make it the same. So I want you guys to have some kind of perspective. When I clean up some of these extra lines, it's going to look a whole lot better. Because you won't, these lines are just making it look kind of confusing. So here's I'm looking into the garage from the outside now. And you can see how it's like, oh, garage, you can see the house inside it. You could draw a little door there and put a step. I can add that little detail right here that we had on that doghouse. Would be pretty small, but it would probably look nice, so I'll put it in. So a little tiny line and then a vertical line showing that there's some width to that. Also, if I want to, I could show that there's a garage door there that's just kind of hanging open. Maybe I'll put another line across here horizontally. So you can make a double garage door. You can make it really tall so a boat could go in there. It's kind of up to you, the types of things that you do. I'm going to put boards on this so it looks like it's partially down, but somehow still open. So kind of up to you what kinds of details. I'm going to show you how to do some details on this drawing. It's going to be kind of up to you, the types of things that you do. I'm going to show you some on this drawing, and I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to make another very short video. I'm just going to show you some samples that students have done in the past. So one thing that's kind of fun, a lot of people do this. If you want a driveway, the same thing we do with the sidewalk, just use this back vanishing point and the opening of your driveway, of your garage. So I'm going to use that same corner to tell me where a driveway would be. So, trace this out. Notice that your garage, your house was up on a foundation, but your garage wasn't. Your garage is at ground level. You don't drive up steps to go into your garage. So that's why we waited on our garage until the house was up on its foundation. It just has to be a logical step that way. If you're ever drawing another one, just remember, is it on ground level or is it up from ground level? So this is kind of a fun, that was an easy detail. If I wanted to add fences or something like that, I have to figure out about what would my fence look like at this particular location. So like, let's say a 4-foot fence right here. Just say maybe 5-foot fence right here. From this location, it's about this high up. So I could say, maybe they have a fence so that would be, don't want a bunch of dogs joining them when they're playing basketball or something. I don't know. So let's say there's a fence going off this way that hides that part of the backyard, so you can't really see what's going on behind it. And maybe I want to have this fence, maybe I want to have it wrap around, but the same fence coming towards me is going to be quite tall. It's going to be this tall here, and then actually really tall right here. Coming out from there, really tall. And I have to have the base of it here. Actually, the road's it's going to come all the way down to the bottom of the drawing. It's as if we're standing inside the fence. So it overlaps the driveway a little bit. I'm just playing. I wanted you to see how you can transfer things around and so on. I'd probably put a line back here just so my it would make more sense for my basketball court to have another line right there. That goes to my left side vanishing point. Other things, so you can play around if you want something on the ground, like let's say a flower bed in front of your house. That's really easy to do. Or a swimming pool, the same thing. You just kind of build a square in the ground by going back and forth between your two benches. Or this could be another building. Whatever you want this, whatever this is supposed to be. You just have to work whatever the buildings are back and forth between your two vanishing points. I was thinking this was some kind of garden or something between your two vanishing points. Or it could be a sand pit for volleyball. I don't know what this is, but you know, just go back and forth and build things as you want to. I wanted to show you as well, if you had a tree by your house, let's say you want a large tree in your front yard. Maybe you have a tree, let's say on the other side of your house, right about here. But I want it in the front, so I want it right here. So let's say a tree on one side of my house, at that particular location, if it was the height of my house, it would be about this big. So a very mature tree would be only this big at this location in our drawing. But a tree towards me, the same size, mature tree, if it's way over here, it would need to be this large, like in the foreground, kind of overhanging. So these two trees, and its base would be, I could bring that out here, here's the base of it. These two trees are the same size, but they have very different heights because of their location in the drawing. So you can kind of go back and forth and figure those things out. If you wanted to do, you know, draw some natural things, you know, mountains would be above the horizon line, whatever you wanted those to look like. You could draw airplanes. You know, if you don't like perspective, draw other types of things. I also wanted to show you really quick how to draw a car. A car is, we just build a car in a rectangle. So if I had a car, let's say I came walking out of my house and I walked over here. Standing by my garage, I'm about this tall, okay? So my car's maybe this tall. So at this point in my drawing, my car needs to be about this tall. Just referencing the size of my car. So I'm going to use my horizon line to help me put a box in here. So the car is about the right size for the drawing. Let's say it's kind of a chunky car. I don't know what this car is going to be yet, by the way. It's a fluid concept with this steering wheel. And then this would go down to the ground. So this would be, here's the size of my car, kind of in proportion to my drawing. Let's say it's kind of some kind of a wagon type car. Then I have to refer to the vanishing points when I drive it. So let's say it has a hood that looks like a Volkswagen a little bit, only it has a K there because Mrs. Rouse designed it. So excited about it at this moment. And then whatever my car needs to look like, it needs to be referring to this vanishing point, also this one. So like my headlights would be going towards this vanishing point. And the side, my bumper would be going towards this vanishing point. The lower part of my car is going towards this vanishing point. Very interesting. Maybe it's a truck. I think it's a truck now. It's a Volkswagen truck. Volkswagens don't make trucks, but this one day they did. They're trying to hide it. Okay, so this goes up here. There's the top. Goes back here. Goes back down again. And then here's the back of the truck. So anyway, but I'm referring, and I can make it even more exciting. I can play around with it until I get it right. But see how I'm going back and forth? And I figured based on this location about how big my truck car would be and so on. So that's kind of how perspective works. So decide what you want in your drawing and what you want it to look like. So I finished here, but the next video is short. I'm not going to draw anything. I'm just going to show you some samples that other students have done.